Went to see Lego Batman yesterday at the same theater we're all going to see John Wick at tonight.
Right. Yeah.
And I went up to the kiosk and put in my credit card. Mm-hmm. And it said, "Oh, hey, we've noticed you have a couple of ticket reservations. Let's print all of them out."
Oh, no.
And so it
really?
proceeded to print out 10 movie tickets, one at a time, plus all the receipts. God. So it looked like I had hacked the movie theater kiosk and was just buying out the theater for the Lego movie.
Oh, my God.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disney Top 5, the series where we pick a topic, we marinate that topic in our brains, we come up with a top 5 list of the top 5 things that represent that topic, and then we talk about it. Oh, and it all has to do with Disney World, obviously. I forgot that detail there. As always, joined by my co-host, Christine. Christine, love is in the air. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Mm-hmm. And so it's only fitting that our next top 5 is about romance in the Walt Disney World Resort.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 romantic scenes, or scenes isn't the right word. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 romantic spots or attractions or things to do in Walt Disney World. Do you want to kick it off with your number 5?
Sure. So my number 5, I feel like a lot of these ended up being locations or sort of like things to do, less rides, because in my brain I was like, I can't really think of a romantic ride in
Carousel
Disney.
Progress, obviously, but beyond
so
that
romantic.
one, I mean, yeah.
Spaceship Earth too. But so this is a really specific location, but it is that like side walkway between Liberty Square and Frontierland that goes along the water where the bell goes. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That area tends to be a little quieter. It depends on what time of the year. Not always, but like, because people are usually taking the main path that goes by all the stores and whatever. And there's like all these nice little benches there. You can sit and you can chill. And it's like just a really pretty view. Like at nighttime especially, but even in the daytime, like, I don't know, just the view of the river around Tom Sawyer's Island and the boat going by. And like, I don't know, it's just like a nice little spot that I think would be nice to sit and relax with somebody you care about.
It's hard to find those little corners of the parks that like don't get a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. I guess probably because they're designed so crowds are always flowing everywhere, but they exist, and that's one. I feel like that's most of my list as well. My original number 5, which I believe will also be on your list, spoiler alert, was going to be, quote, literally anywhere on the boardwalk. But then I realized, based on this last trip, that that isn't what I'm thinking, because one of the nights after we were going to meet up with you guys at Disney Springs, and we had watched Illuminations, and so we decided, okay, let's walk out the back exit of Epcot and grab a bus from like the yacht or beach club. Right. And along that walk is a beach. I'm assuming for one of those, I forget which one comes first, if it's yacht or beach, but they're like next to each other kind of. And across from the water on that beach is the boardwalk, and it is beautifully lit up. It's got that, 1920s style feel to it. And you just have this great, very relaxing view from afar across the water. And that spot to me, I think, is the spot. And it also go figure, we were walking by and we saw somebody with an acoustic guitar sitting on a swing playing, and we were just like, wow, like that guy had to go through the effort to make that scene happen. Like he brought a guitar to Disney World to make that happen. Yep. But you know what, it was a really cool little location, and it seemed like a very romantic spot. Yeah.
So that's my number 4, but not that specific spot. But it was more not like anywhere in the boardwalk, but like the boardwalk at night. I mean, during the daytime, it's cool. It's definitely a nice area to walk around. But at nighttime, it's just like the way that it's lit up is like not too bright. Like, I don't know. It just feels like you're walking along like just like a dimly lit path at night. And yeah, it's just really nice with all the friendship boats going in and out. And I just remember spending time there, not my last trip, but the trip before, where Peter was with me, and like we ran into the magician and like a juggler and like all these like cool other things that we got to like stop and look at. And like, I don't know, it was just one of the best memories I had, was literally just taking the time to walk around there at night and like experiencing the whole thing. So
it's sort of the natural thing that happens when you have a place that's like designed to be beautiful from like every angle, is you find all of these spots. But yeah, the boardwalk's definitely a great one. And I'd say to that point, and sorry if this is spoiling anything on your list, but the hub area at night has that similar vibe now, because the trees have all of these white lights, and it just makes it really nice.
Yep, and the grass areas you can sit on.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number 4 is over in Epcot, actually, and it's one of the few spaces in Epcot that I think you get to, like, take a quiet moment that it doesn't get visited as much, and it's in the back area of the UK Pavilion. There's like a little garden with a little gazebo, and I think outside of when they do like musical performances, not a lot of people go back there.
No.
And this one, I've actually never been there at night, so I don't know how it looks at night, but during the day, it's like a very beautiful, quiet little corner of Epcot, and there are a lot of benches there around by the grass and the flowers and stuff, so it's a cool spot to just sit down and, you know, romance.
Whatever that means.
Romance your significant other. Just be romantic.
Yeah. So my number 3 is the Polynesian Beach. I feel like, my brain always goes to nighttime. I don't know, nighttime romance, whatever.
It's the fire, really, with the Polynesian.
It is the
it's
fire.
all that fire on the tiki torches.
Yeah. But even during the day, like, there's just something really relaxing about it. You can, like, definitely go out there and walk along the beach a little further from, like, where the boats pick you up, and it gets fairly quiet. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll run into cast members making s'mores, and that's always fun.
During the day.
During the...
Day s'mores. This is,
They've done it, like, when I've been there, it's been, like, sunset. So, somewhere in between the day and the night. Okay. And, I don't know, it's just, like, really, I mean, obviously, like, later after the parks are closed and, like, you know, people are probably already in their rooms, or maybe they're at Disney Springs or whatever, like, it's really quiet and really nice. Like, even when I just walked around there by myself at, like, 11 p.m., it was just really, I don't know, it's just, like, could just be there with your thoughts kind of thing. I don't know, it's just really nice.
On the flip side of that, if you go early in the morning when it's still foggy, like, right as the sun's rising, looks like the establishing shot of a horror movie.
Which
all you just see is a foggy bay. It is the least romantic. So, you know, the Poly has that those two extremes there. So that's pretty nice. It's got a lot of variety. My number 3 is over in the Magic Kingdom, and it is, of course, the most romantic thing you can do in the Magic Kingdom, which is dinner and a performance at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe with the one and only Sunny Eclipse. Okay, maybe that's not actually on my list, but I felt like I needed to mention Cosmic Rays because I would love maybe one day that's what I'll do. Everyone talks about their romantic scenes where they get restaurant, ohanas with wishes or something like that. No. It is completely booking out Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe, one table in the center of the main room, dim lighting, spotlight on Sunny Eclipse, and just dinner for 2. No. Now that's my fake number 3. My real number 3 is actually, it is still in the Magic Kingdom, but it is on Tom Sawyer's Island. And this was a spot we just found on our last trip. Back by the fort, there's a little side road. And on that little side road is a tiny little dock with a couple of rocking chairs, and it overlooks one of the banks of Big Thunder Mountain. And we were there at that point just as the sun was like starting to set, and it's really quiet. It's far enough away from Big Thunder that you're not like hearing loud roller coaster sounds. It's separated enough from the island that you're not getting a lot of foot traffic. It's just this quiet little spot with a nice view where you could watch the sunset, and you could sit in a rocking chair with your significant other and just like it's just like a little nice spot. It's like one of those hidden, tucked away spots that I don't think a lot of people knows about, but it's really cool. And, yeah.
Interesting. I don't know anything about that because I didn't get to go to Tom Sawyer's
Nobody,
Island.
nobody tell anybody. We need to keep this spot as secret as it was before this video.
Right.
Tell not a soul.
My number 2 is, oh my god, well now that you like made fun of like restaurants and wishes and stuff.
I wasn't making fun of it. I was just saying there's a better option out there, and it's Sunny Eclipse.
I don't agree. Is California Grill during wishes. One, California Grill's food is amazing. It's really good. The way the restaurant's set up is very romantic. I mean, there are families that go up there, but like, it wasn't, I know when we went at that time, it was mostly adults. There are very few kids there. So it feels really upscale, really nice. Like, we actually got a little bit dressed up for it just because there is no dress code, but, you know, we just wanted to do that. And I remember we ordered our food and we got our glasses of wine, and the waitress was like, you can go out for wishes and, you know, we'll put your order in. And you go out on this, like, long walkway. There's actually 2 of them. So they give 2 slightly different views of wishes. And it was us and, like, I don't know, 10, 12 other people, and there's plenty of space. And we were just out there literally with a glass of wine, watching wishes from afar. The music is like being pumped in, you know, over by us, kind of like Ohana does. And I don't know, it's just really nice. It was one really nice, relaxing way to watch wishes because you don't have to turn around and then see 20 million people behind you that you need to get through to get out of the park.
Literally, the park's capacity just trying to funnel through Main Street. It's a nightmare.
But it was like a really nice way. So it was the beginning of our dinner. So, I mean, obviously some people will probably do it at the end of their dinner, but it was a nice way to kick off dinner. And then we just came back to our table and the food was there and just had a nice, like, romantic meal for the rest of the night. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different way of seeing it because you kind of see the fireworks on the side of the castle. Like, you can see where they're actually being shot, which is, like, behind the castle. Yeah. But it was nice. Really nice.
Now think about how much nicer it would have been if instead of wishes, it was Sunny Eclipse. And
you don't even know a song. Sing a song for me, Rob.
That would be copyright infringement, and I respect him far too much to do that. Okay. So for Sunny, I'm not going to. But trust me, I know them all by heart. My number 2 is... I'm just picturing what California Grill would look like with Sunny Eclipse in the center. Just Sunny Eclipse in every restaurant.
Oh, God.
All the time.
Please don't do that to me.
My number 2 is actually sort of an offshoot of your number 5, which is, so along that pathway, that little side path, there is a fountain, and it's a Cinderella fountain. It's like a bronze little babbling fountain over closer towards the castle. And one, I think this is a really nice spot. I think it's a nice spot for a lot of the reasons you had mentioned. That pathway, it's a little off to the side, not noticed as much. But this sort of ties into an experience, and that was a couple of trips ago. Walking past that, I witnessed an actual proposal happening by the fountain. And I thought that was really romantic because, you know, for Disney, the obvious low-hanging fruit is the castle. In front of the castle at night, during the day, wherever, during fireworks, whatever. Like, the castle, that icon is sort of become the idea. But I really liked that it was this tiny little spot. It was a lot more quiet than you'd expect a Disney park area to be, and it happened there. And it was the second most romantic thing I've ever seen at Disney World. Which is why it's number 2.
Okay. I mean, maybe those are people who didn't want the attention, because I feel like you...
Well, sorry, I'm blowing up your spot and putting it all over the internet.
Yeah, sorry,
strangers.
People. But I mean, like, you know, if you propose in front of the castle, everyone notices, and maybe some people want that, you know, and you've got, like, house members taking photos and stuff, but, like, if you're a couple who's, like, I don't really want to make this super public, but I want to do it in Disney World, then that kind of makes sense. I think it's a good spot. People have also
proposed pop quiz before we talk about our number 1s.
Yeah.
Think about the least romantic way you could propose at Disney World.
Well, I was going to say people have done it on Splash Mountain, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's. I think we could go further.
Yeah.
Right before the first drop on Primeval Whirl in Dinoland, USA.
Oof.
Anywhere in Dinoland, USA.
Yeah.
Literally just within eye shot of Dinoland, USA.
So my number one is a really specific spot that I actually discovered on my solo trip. And it is in Epcot. And so originally my number one was going to be like, oh, just walking around the World Showcase in general. Because I think that in general could be a really nice romantic thing to do and take the time to explore whatever. But this spot is by the bridge that goes over, France, England.
Yeah.
But there's a little place that you can go that's like, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You stairs further down and it kind of extends out
it's
into
like a little
lagoon
extension. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And people seem to never go over there. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just rushing to whatever next country.
Gotta get to Frozen, kids. We gotta get to Frozen.
And, like, I found it even during the day because I was like, oh, I wanted to vlog and I wanted a spot to do it where it wasn't going to be loud or whatever. And then I was sitting there and I was just like, this is really nice. And it was the middle of the day and nobody was down in this big area. I feel like the only time people go down there is, like, during illuminations.
Yeah.
It was just such a nice, quiet area that, like, even though it was only more than, like, I don't know, 10 feet from that bridge, just was a totally different vibe and was, like, a totally different feeling. And so, I don't know. I think that spot can be really romantic. And like I said, all of World Showcase to me, I think, can be really romantic. I think that there's something about drinking around the world in not a fraternity sort of way, but, like, in a nice, like, oh, let's get a glass of wine and let's, like, shop around and, like, enjoy all the pavilions and whatever. I don't know. And that's my number one.
It's a good number one. Epcot it's always good when Epcot's at the front of the list.
Yeah.
So my number one has nothing to do with Epcot. So I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I'm a big hypocrite.
Yeah.
It has to do with the Magic Kingdom. It has to do less with the location, but more of it was a moment that I witnessed and was lucky enough to capture on film. So you could actually see it on the channel. And it was during not this past trip, but our last group trip. We had watched the fireworks. Everybody was sort of funneling out of the park. It wasn't as crazy as it has been in the past. I don't know if this might have been actually when you were at the California Grill with Peter, come to think of it. And we had taken our time, and I think, like, people were in the bathroom, so I was just waiting at the end of Main Street by the train station, just, like, recording footage. And I just want to say, before I mention the scene, probably the best thing they've ever done for Main Street in the past couple of years was include the soundtrack from Up. Because it's just, like, it is the perfect, like, condensed it's romance. Like, I can't think of a better way to put it. It's romance. Just like it's just romance. Like that whole theme just represents it perfectly. And it just really works with the theme, especially at night when everything's lit up with the white lights and it's got that old school vibe. And so I was recording footage of just people walking out of Main Street for, like, a background, and I noticed these young parents with a stroller sort of walk up, and they were, like, caught in the frame a little bit, and the music started playing, and they just sort of stopped and started, like, slow dancing with each other while the Up theme played in this beautiful, like, background of, like, the lit up Main Street USA. And I was like, one, I'm so glad my camera was turned on, and two, like, that's the most romantic thing I've ever seen at Disney World. I have to work this into my video somewhere. And so it's actually at the very end of that vlog series I did. I'll try and, like, edit into this video so you can see what I'm talking about. But it was a great moment. It was just a perfect combination. It, to me, represented everything Disney does well to put those moments together, whether it's the visuals or, you know, the architecture, the music, everything just all came together for that moment, and it was great.
Aww.
And there was no castle involved. So we both avoided the low-hanging fruit of the castle.
Yeah, I guess I don't see the castle as super romantic, personally. I see it as this beautiful icon, but I don't... Yeah. I personally don't connect it to romance.
Right.
So...
Now, the hat, the Mickey hat in Hollywood Studios...
So romantic.
Of course.
Go in there, buy some pins, and...
Yeah, exactly. So God, remember the hat? That was... Good thing that's gone.
Yeah.
for hopefully forever. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Our top 5 romantic spots, activities. Well, it was really just spots. Let's be honest. We just pretty much did spots. At Disney World. We would love to hear what your top 5 are. Maybe it's something you've witnessed. Maybe it's something you're planning. Let us know in the comments below. You could also let us know on Twitter. I'm at Rob Plays. Christine?
I'm at Ivy Winter YT.
And if they want to see more of you, how can they do it?
They can do it through YouTube.
Preferably keep it to YouTube.
Yeah, not like in person. That would be creepy.
Don't stalk.
No. At Ivy Winter.
There you go. Were you working on anything on the channel? Anything special?
Vlogs.
Vlogs all day.
My last one was pretty funny, so
it was really funny. And it actually convinced Kat and I when we were like, what do we want to do when we go down in April? I was like, I kind of want to do character stuff now. Haven't done it in a long time, but that was really funny to watch.
Yeah.
So, all right. This is where I would put an ending, but I can't think of a good one. So I'm just going to cut to that video clip I mentioned.
The end. Or should I say, the beginning of your future.